Hey, welcome back, crafty friends. Today we are going to work on designing a Santa sack. So let's go ahead and get in. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put a box to help us with measurements. So our Santa sack is a 7 by 9 Santa sack. So depending on what Santa sack you have, it can be, they come in different sizes, so you want to make sure you measure yours. So mine is a 7 by 9, so I put a 7 by 9 box inside so I know which parts I want to create the images on and the word. So we have our wording in. We're gonna call this one sleigh mail. So we're gonna put the sleigh mail right at the top. That blue box again helps us to level off where we want to put our images and our wording for our Santa sack. So now we have our wording in. That again, that blue box lets us know where we want to put our wording and our images. So now let's see if we can find a page divider that we like. So you can go over to the elements. I'm going to look and see if I see any of the page dividers that I like. And then we're going to pop one in. So putting the page divider just allows us to separate the different sections on the Santa sack. Just to bring it together and separate it at the same time. So I think I'm gonna go with this particular divider. I'm gonna put that one in, kind of stretch it out a little bit, and then make sure that it is centered in the middle. And to know if your images are centered in the middle, you'll see a red line go down the middle. So that told us that it's centered in the middle. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and add some more wording to the Santa sack. So you can put whatever wording you want to put on yours. I'm going to put that this is an express delivery because this is a special gift. It's a Santa sack. So this is going to be a special delivery. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And then you can always change the font of the wording that you want. So I'm going to change the font. And then what I'm going to do is put an outline on the word. So that's going to make the wording pop out. So we want to, I'll say, spruce up our design. You don't want everything to look basic. So in order to do that outline, we go to effects and then we're going to select outline. So I changed my color on mine to white first, and then I'm going to go to the outline and I'm going to make that outline into a red color. So the thickness is going to make the intensity of the line. So that's a good intensity for me. Looks good to me. So now we can either add another image or we can add more wording. So that's going to be completely up to you. So now I'm going to go over to the elements and I'm going to put another image in. So how about we do a candy cane box. So the candy cane box we're going to put in, you can go over to the elements, type it in. Let's see what they have. So I put candy cane outline. That's not what I was looking for the candy cane outline. So I'm going to go in and change the wording. So it's the perfect thing. You can change the wording, and I changed it to candy cane box to see the designs that I had to pick from. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose the one with the white on the inside because I am going to put words inside of this candy cane box here. So I'm going to align that under the word express. I'm gonna have it right under there to be able to put my words on there under express for the candy cane box. So after I put it there, you'll go over to text. I'm gonna do the subheading, which it comes out to be a little smaller, but you could still adjust any font size you have on here. You could still adjust it. So I'm gonna put do not open before December the 24th because this will be like a Christmas Eve gift. So I'm going ahead and type that. Then we're going to enter it inside of the our candy cane box. So once it's in there, I'm going to change the color because I don't want to use just a black color. So I'm going to change the font and I'm going to change the color to green. So we're changing the font. So your fonts are going to pop up on your left hand side. And then I'm going to select it, go over to the color tab and change that to green. So now we have do not open before December 24th. We changed our font and we turned it green. So that looks good there. So next, we are going to go to the text again and we're going to add our naughty or nice section because we do know you can't be on the naughty list to receive the good gifts. So we're going to put our naughty in and then we're also going to add the word nice. So what we'll do here is once the two words are in, we're going to add check boxes so those can be checked off. Um, and you can do this as well, but you can put the two words in and then you can change the font, you can change the size depending on what you do. So I am going to um make these words just a little smaller and I'm going to change the font on them because I do want to put a different type of font than some of the other wording that's on the Santa sack. So I am going to change that up a little bit. So I did change the font there. And then I'm going to change the color. So I want to do that outline pop again. So I'm going to change the words to white completely, go to effects, select outline. Then I'm going to change the color, change the intensity, and then I'm going to turn it all the way, not all the way up, but I'm going to turn it up to 112. And you can see the intensity number that you are changing it to. So if you have two words that you want to change, you can just type it in. But you can type it in or just change it as the same one as your other one. So we have those two words in. Now we need to put the check boxes next to our naughty or nice. So to get those check boxes, you can go back to elements. You can select box. You can scroll down to see if it's anything there you like. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. So I'm going to make that smaller. That's a little bit too big. So I'm going to make some adjustments, move some of the things over. So we have a little bit more room to add our boxes in. Um, that's going to make it easier. So then I'm going to select the box again, make it a little smaller so it can go right next to naughty or nice. I'm just going to put those two boxes there. So that's a pretty simple task. You just go to elements, type in box, and different variations of boxes are going to come up and you can select them. So we're going to put the boxes next to the naughty or nice. Once I have those adjusted to my liking, then we'll go over to and add some more elements. So you can also tell if it's aligned up with the word next to it because you'll see three lines are going to pop up and that's going to tell you if it's completely aligned with whatever you're putting it next to. So in this case, we're putting the box next to naughty or nice. And we can see that it was a line. You can also change the thickness of the lines by selecting the line and then going over to the three lines at the top to change the intensity. So as you can see, I made the intensity higher on those boxes, so it's a little darker. So we're going to add some more wording. So all I did was duplicated the word that it said express delivery so that I can keep that same font for the next words that I want to put. So during the next section, we're going to put delivery presents enclosed too. So we're going to put who this special delivery is going to be for. So I use the exact same font that we used above. This time I just decided to make this section smaller due to the fact that we have more words on this section. So all I did was duplicate it again, and then you can insert the child's name. So we have the child's name in, and then you can adjust the font. So I'm going to go choose a different font for his name, John. I'm also going to adjust the size of his name, and you can put the name anywhere you choose to on your design. So I'm going to put mine here, and then I'm going to turn the intensity of the outline down some. So once I have the intensity down how I like it, I'm going to align it under who the delivery present is for. So we have his name, John, And then you can add more images. So I am going to add another image in. I'm just going to scroll through some of the images that I have so that I can add one. I think I'm gonna go with an elf. So this, this is the nice Christmas sleigh mail for our Santa sack. Let's go ahead and add an elf. So I am looking through the images to see if I can find the elf. And look, there they are. So there are the elves. I am going to remove the background from this elf that I have. So once the background is removed, I am going to make it a little smaller so that it fits on, um, so it fits within the blue box to make sure it aligns correctly. So I adjusted the size of the elf, so he is now adjusted to my liking. And then I'm gonna add some words to the sign he's holding. So I think I'm going to put nice. So we're gonna say John was nice. So John will deserve his little unique gift. Um, and then here we're gonna add if the gift is undeliverable, where the gift should be sent to. So before we add to John's sign, we're gonna add this undeliverable. So you can just type in any font, any size, and then it can be adjusted. So again, we're gonna change the color of it. Once the color is changed, we can also change the font. So let's do this one as a green. So this one is gonna be green. And then we're going to make the adjustments there. And it says if undeliverable, return to. So we're gonna put who this gift should be returned to if John cannot receive it. So if John does not, we don't have John's correct address, who can we return this gift to? So let's look for a Santa stamp. So you can just go to the Elements tab, type in Santa stamps in there, and different stamp options are going to come up. So you can scroll through and select the one you want. So this is the one we're going to go with. We're going to make that smaller to make sure it fits how we want it to fit on. So we can make those adjustments in there to put it down to make sure it fits. So once that fits, that looks good to me. Now let's add the nice section to John, the little elf sign. So we have that in there. And then again, you can change what your font is. So we are going to update the font and change it and then change the color. Again, we're going to make it white and then add an outline to it. So that just makes the sign pop a little bit. So there it is. We put nice on John the Elf sign. And then you can just take a look to make sure everything aligns, see if there's anything else you want to do. So if you notice, that did not take us that long to create. You can make any adjustments you want in not that long. So what we will do next is we're still making sure everything is aligned, seeing if there's any additional things we want to add. I think I'm going to leave it here. So all you will do next is you will need to save your image to your computer, and then you will need to print it off. And once it's printed off, then you will use your Santa sack, your blank Santa sack, and we are going to sublimate this design onto our Santa sack. So here I'm just making a few adjustments, nothing major. But the next step we'll do, again, like I said, we're gonna print this off, we're gonna save it, print it off, and then we are going to use our heat press to put the image onto the sublimation blank. So make sure you come back tomorrow so you can work with me to put the image onto the sublimation bag. We will see you tomorrow.